I'm having a really bad day, but I'm gonna film anyway.
Hello, my traveler of worlds, how are you all? I had a few things I wanted to talk about, mainly about how I handle my own inner critic and ego when it gets too loud, because it's been very loud lately, and that is heavy for the brain. However, through my healing journey, I have found things that help me navigate it better, and I'd like to share them with you. The first thing I want to talk about is creating a mantra of light. Hear me out, because this has massively helped me in countering my negative thought patterns. Finding a powerful counterphrase to define my ego when it gets too loud. Mine is simply, I am not my thoughts. I've chosen this one because I'm personally an overthinker. I can get so caught up in my thoughts that it feels like my head is going to burst. On my worst days, my inner child is trapped in this cage inside of me, and my ego turns the lights off, flooding me in complete darkness. This darkness contains my old thoughts, beliefs, habits that have shaped me during my childhood and younger years. Those days are really, really heavy. So here's where the mantra comes in. This one phrase might seem like a minuscule thing to counter this lifetime of darkness within. How could it possibly make a difference? Well, imagine the impact of this tiny flame of rebellion from within when you acknowledge it and say your mantra out loud. It literally lights you up.
Hello. Is my microphone on? Because it wasn't a minute ago when I talked to you first. I'm gonna try and paint some watercolor seascapes. Because I have a big painting coming up, which I will start next week, which I've talked about in previous videos, that I'm starting this big project and it's gonna involve many art pieces, and the first piece in this series will start next week. Now, this painting contains a lot of seascapey watercolor seascapey stuff. Like waves and I don't know. I don't know how to paint that. Like I'm just throwing myself into here. Like I have a fairly decent idea of how a wave works, how it breaks, the movement of it, the colors that are being used. I am feeling fairly confident in my ability to create good values in a watercolor painting, but I haven't actually tried painting a seascape watercolor painting before. So I should probably do that a couple of times before I start my big painting. So that's what I'm going to do now. I want to apologize for my low mood vibes, but you know, we don't do apologizing here unless I actually have a reason to apologize. But being in a low mood is not a reason to apologize, so I'm not going to do it. Yeah. Oh, I feel like crap.
Hello, my sweet buddy. I am so beyond grateful that you have stopped whining. You have no idea. You have no idea. Oh, look at that little cute face. He has completely tired himself out after a week of continuous whining.
Your ego needs to budge for that tiny flame of rebellion of yours. And as you become more confident in your own mantra, maybe even start believing it, envision this illuminated bubble around you like a shield. This bubble of light protects who you truly are, a loving, beautiful, unique being worthy of all the love, peace, and joy you can possibly imagine. That is who you're meant to be. That is your birthright. I like this quote from Maya Angelou, and it goes like this. Light and shadow are opposite sides of the same coin. We can illuminate our paths or darken our way. It's a matter of choice. So imagine if you make the choice to create this mantra for yourself and say it out loud as often as you can, especially when your ego is trying to beat you down. Imagine the power it can have and all the good it can do over time, even if it just seemed like a minuscule decision to make. Tiny ones will all eventually add up to the big shifts and changes with perseverance and time. It's those baby steps that have the power to rewire your brain, finally tapping into the full potential you truly have inside.
I just finished my first 2 quick tutorials. 2 notes to myself is I am not patient enough. I need to work on my patience because I'm like, I start painting a tutorial, I get too excited and want to see the finished result too fast, and so I don't do enough focused work. Kind of. I'm just splashing in some color and doing what I'm seeing instead of analyzing what I'm doing so that I can actually learn from it. And second, I am, but that kind of relates to being too impatient, and that is that I go too heavily in with the colors at once. Kind of like with watercolors, you want to do it in layers. You want to go slow, like start with thin layers, light layers, so that you can build up this beautiful volume and value of color. Now, don't think it's all too bad for like a first proper try, but yeah, I need to start making some mental notes on bad habits I might have when painting, especially watercolor. But yeah, finish that. Yeah, I think that's the end of the update.
Leaving all my worries, I prepare for something new. Whatever it was that held me back, I'm sure it wasn't true. Holding on too long and unresolved questions hold you down. What could have been a friendly smile has turned into a frown. I'm moving on and on, on and on. I'm moving on and on,
Good girlie. Good girlie. Du, mister. Ikke det. Ikke det. Nei, det er pappa sin. Det er pappa sin.
See some flowers or some grass. Are we rolling? Rolling? No, we're not rolling. Oh, no, that's my microphone. I feel sad. It's let's try Bam Bam's chewing stick. Can you see me better now? Oh yeah, that works perfectly. Wait for it. There we go. Bam Bam, sleep, nej. No, Baba. No. I know it's your stick. Can I borrow it for a minute? Good morning, everyone. I was contemplating to postpone filming for a little bit because I am honestly really stuck in nothing days again. Which I haven't been for a long time. Which in and of itself is good because nothing days used to be the majority of my time, and now that I think about it, I have not had nothing days 4 months, which is incredible. I've had low days, yes, but not nothing days. And if you don't really know what I mean by nothing days, it's just my way of saying that I'm stuck in some kind of freeze mode. What are you doing, buddy? Hi. Somebody wants to say hi. Anyway, nothing days to me are basically like being frozen, being in freeze mode where I can't get myself to do anything. I can't think clearly. I can't feel anything really. I just want to sit and stare at the wall. I want to cry, but I can't. And it's hard. But luckily, I'm also, at a place right now where I know that this is going to pass, and so I just have to sit with it. Just have to accept it. And in a couple of days, I'll probably feel a lot better. But not today, and not the last couple of days. And so I'm trying to take this as an opportunity to observe myself. To see where on earth is this actually coming from. I'm listening to this audiobook with my partner called The Inner Work. And it just... I'm not really good at reciting or like giving summaries of books. But it's a book about inner work, about working with yourself to become the best and the highest and most powerful version of yourself. And in this case, it's not about becoming like a powerful big person with a lot of money and a lot of success. That's not what it is. It's just about being able to tap into your own confidence, your own peace, your own love towards yourself and towards others so that you can live the most peaceful and fruititious existence as you can. Living a life out of love and out of peace, and that is the path to happiness and joy, regardless of outside circumstances. And this book talks about how you are not your thoughts. And that is what I'm trying to focus on now that I'm in this weird headspace myself. Like, I have so many self-destructive thoughts going on in my head right now. It's sickening, and it physically makes me sick. My ego is attacking everything within me that could make me feel the tiniest bit better about myself. Right now, I am the worst partner. I am the worst artist. I'm the worst dog mom. I don't know anything. I can't do anything. I'm a bad daughter. I'm not helping this. I'm not doing that. My past is very present right now in that I'm like reliving things over and over that are just messing my brain up. Anyway, what I'm trying to come to here is that this book talks about you are not your thoughts. Yes, your thoughts are a part of your being, you know, it is something that continuously goes on in the back of your mind, but they aren't. Just because you're thinking something doesn't mean that it is true. The thoughts you have in your head about yourself, especially negative, bad, and self-destructive ones, they aren't true. And most people don't have people in their lives telling them that. And so we just continue living, growing into these beliefs about ourselves, and it becomes harder and harder and harder to get rid of them. Yeah, it's sad that we as children are not taught these things, but that's a topic for another time. So I'm just right now trying to rewire my brain and accept that I am in this situation. I accept how I feel right now, that I am in these nothing days. I am not my thoughts. And this is just another challenge from something bigger than myself, to keep working on it, keep working on myself so that I eventually can tap into my fullest potential. Like we all should, like we all deserve. Hi. Thank you.
I am not my thoughts. This is exactly why I chose this for my mantra. I'll read you a few sentences from an article that explain it way better than I can. It goes like this. Your thoughts are merely objects of the mind, just like sounds, perceptions, feelings, and ideas. Thoughts are nothing but passing clouds, and there is nothing you should take personally about them. According to its literal definition, thought is merely an idea or opinion created by your mind. It is sudden and spontaneous and has no particular origin whatsoever. It is safe to say that thoughts are just your mind making up random scenarios in your head, right? Hence, these are not real. Your thoughts are not real. They are just an idea that your mind presented to you, most probably due to an external stimulus. Your thoughts are just as real as you make them. The more attention you give to a thought, the more elaborate it becomes. The bigger you make it, the more it will affect you.
Hello again. It's the next day, and you probably saw me end yesterday with starting a portrait painting. And I really surprised myself with that one, because just before I started painting it, I had this whole rant about nothing days and just wanting to not do anything. I just wanted to sleep. I just wanted to sit on my butt and stare at the wall, which I'd done for like several days straight. And then it was like for one tiny moment, I got the courage. And I got some kind of inner clarity that told me like, no, but you know what? You're just gonna try and do some painting, even if it's for 1 minute, 5 minutes. Just take one step at a time, and just do it, because I have this big painting coming up with a watercolor portrait. I've never painted watercolor portraits before, and so I need to start practicing. And I just somehow managed to remind myself of my goals, of the things that inspire me, the things that I want to do. And I somehow found the courage to actually get up and start working on this watercolor portrait. And moral of the story here is I am so happy that I did. And I'm so proud of myself that I managed to do that. And so I just wanted to show you, because it's not finished yet, but I've come to a point where I'm going to try and work with another technique. So I might mess up this painting when I continue now. So I just want to show you the painting, so that you can see how far I got, you know, and if I mess it up, that's fine, then I just mess it up. At least I manage the level that I did now. It just gives me the hope and the courage and the faith that, you know, I can create art pieces. I can create art. I have the ability to create art. And this one right here, oh, that's my camera thing. This thing right here is proof that everything I'm hearing in my head these days is wrong. I managed to visually prove myself wrong, visually prove my ego wrong. So I'm going to continue working on this painting. Again, I might mess it up. That's why I showed you. But yeah, I think I'm in a better mood today. I think so.
Baby, what's on your mind? Thinking about all the mistakes you made. So easy, we had all the time in the world. I can feel your heart is rushing, and you got nothing more to buy. So you try to feel with something, it don't matter what you try to say.
This last one might be a little bit controversial, but I have found this to help me tremendously at the right times. And that is to seek out things that will help me cry when I need it. On bad days, it's usually recommended to do things like writing down emotions and thoughts, talking to someone, getting outside, exercise, etc., to relieve yourself of these emotions. And yes, it works. Sometimes. But other times, it does the opposite, at least for me. Writing it down makes me feel even worse because I can't counter the negative phrases I'm writing down. Sometimes I talk to someone and they just don't get it, making me feel lonelier and so on. So what do I do when it seems like nothing helps? Well, I go seek something that makes me feel more. Something that increases the emotion I'm already having. In this case, it's certain music or movies or books. I choose the one I know will make me cry my eyes out, and I indulge in that for a while. However, make sure to give yourself a time frame, though, to avoid getting lost in a dark place for too long, especially when you're battling for your mental health. But sometimes, all you really need is a good long cry to release what's going on inside. And that's it. Creating a mantra of light, distancing myself from my thoughts, and sometimes indulging in the emotions are the things needed to help me get through it. If you're new here, I wholeheartedly invite you to become a part of the Traveler of Worlds community. It would mean the absolute world to have you here. I will see you all again very, very soon. Enjoy spring's fresh touches. All my love and light, always. Bye.